Notorious B.I.G. Life After Death album. March 25th, I believe it was.
Yes, absolutely.
1997.
1997.
I was there.
Man.
I was there.
You was there, baby.
Yes.
Sway was there, you weren't.
I was there, man, right up in the mix of a lot of that was going on. How many other songs, Somebody's Gotta Die, Big Never Heard, Right Niggas Bleed, Big Never Heard?
Never heard the finished version.
Any other songs on this album you think he didn't hear the finished versions of?
I think the majority of them. Downfall.
Yeah.
Like Downfall. So I constructed these episodes according to single songs, right? Of course, it's a double album. We can't do all of them. It's like, 16 songs. But so the first episode is called Who Shot Ya? Now, of course, that song isn't on the album, but that's the prelude. So it's the Warner Brothers, of course, is pushing this to get people to stream Life After Death more. But this podcast is bigger than just a making of Life After Death. It's about Biggie's life, the last 18 months of his life inside and outside the studio. So we start at the beginning of the Life After Death phase when he makes that like Ashy to Classy, Biggie Smalls to Frank White transition. So we start in 1995 with the King of New York cover, which is why our first guest on episode 1 is Bones Malone. So we that's Who Shot Ya, and we got we have Fat Joe talking about his friendship with Big, and then Nasheem talking about producing Who Shot Ya, which was actually his first placement, which is crazy.
Wow.
And then he talks about the Pac stuff and all of that, and then we have Klepto telling this. Did you see the first episode?
Yeah.
Okay,
but you're going to tell it better than me. Go ahead.
I was saying so. Yeah. But then we have Klepto ending off the episode telling this crazy story about how Big took a shot at LL on Who Shot Ya
in the studio,
and everybody thought the song was about Pac but actually they recorded that before Pac got shot, so that's not the case. But LL was in the studio writing to the song. Can you imagine that? And Big for some reason took a shot at LL. That's how the episode ends. But the next episode, this one that's about to drop, is the Sky's Limit episode. Episode 3 is Somebody's Gotta Die. Episode 4 is 10 Crack Commandments. 5 is My Downfall. 6 is Notorious Thugs. 7 is Story to Tell. And 8 is Last Day.
So the way the story goes is in Who Shot Ya, LL was actually in the studio when he recorded his verse.
So the story is, the beat, we first heard the beat on Mary's album, My Life, right? It was supposed to be it was supposed to be a song from Mary's album featuring Keith Murray, Big, and I guess LL, because LL was in the studio writing. And I don't know if they were using LL just in case Big didn't come around, but for some reason, and I've heard this before from a certain rap legend like Icon, who said that Big didn't care for LL. He bit too much. I don't have any confirmation on this.
Wow.
But I remember I remember hearing this, right? And keeping it in the back of my head. So now I told you, I said we have to frame this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like I was never thinking, well, let's get somebody to talk shit about LL, or
you just never knew that would happen.
That's not even I'm not even thinking about that. I'm not thinking there's a rift between Big and LL. So
that's why L wrote I Shot Ya.
That's what Klep said. He's like he says that blatantly. Like the reason LL wrote I Shot Ya was because of that day in the studio, because of Who Shot Ya. And I'm like, and when you think about it, it's like
it's a line that Big said.
Old school, new school, you need to learn though. That was supposed to be at LL.
Wait, let's take a listen.
Now turn the mics up.
Here come Big.
Turn that shit the fuck up. What? Turn up louder. Yeah.
When this hit the streets, it's crazy.
Back when they did extended intros.
Right.
3 verses. Yeah.
Who shot ya? Separate the weak from the ops. Leap hard to creep them Brooklyn streets. It's on, nigga. Fuck all that bickering beef. I can hear sweat trickling down your cheek. Your heartbeat sound like Sasquatch feet. thundering, shaking the concrete. Then the shit stopped when I fall the plot. Neighbors call the cops, said they heard mad shots. Saw me in the drop, 3 1/4, slaughter, electrical tape around the daughter. Old school, new school, need to learn though. I burn, baby, burn like disco inferno. Burn slow like blunts with yayo. Peel more, peel more.
Was that it right there?
That was the line.
Old school, new school, need to
learn
though. I burn.
Her baby burn like disco inferno. Yeah.
What does that mean? How was that a shot to LL though?
No, Klep was saying.
Okay.
But the thing was, right? I thought it was. I'm directing it. I'm waiting for this. Like, Angela's like trying to get to the middle of it. Like, wait, what? How? Blah 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 blah. And he's doubling down. And I'm sitting there like watching this shit cook. So then, and I'm like, okay, it's Cap if he doesn't say that there's some kind of interaction with Big. If Big doesn't acknowledge this is real. And then he says, no, like we had a moment. Like I asked him like, yo, why'd you go at LL like that? And he just laughed and like kept it pushing. So I mean, like it wasn't like Big denied it. Like what are you talking about? Like he was like, we like joked about it, but he kept it pushing. I guess there was no specific conversation about, and I don't know, maybe I need to ask C's or somebody. I don't know, but like, about LL, but no, like that was his thing. So.
But wait, you said LL was in the studio when Big made this?
Yes, LL was writing to the song. Nasheem, which was the interview before Klep, says that LL was in the studio writing to it.
While Big rapped that.
Hold on, man.
Yes.
Let me see if C's a pickup, man.
Let's
Phone
get
a
to
friend.
it. Let's get to it.
Phone a friend.
Hold up, man.
Let's get to it.
Let's see if C's a pickup. He might not pick up.
Is he an early bird?
Is
C's supposed to be picking up for me.
This
That's
is a
what
hell
it
of a
is.
wake-up
Yeah.
call.
Let's see.
We got
That's
one
3
more
rings,
ring and
don't
it's a
sound
dub.
good, yeah. Oh, damn. C's ain't picking up.
You tried.
Tell him hit back. He'll hit back. Everybody calls you
might
right
be
back.
listening.
Everybody calls you right back.
Shit, he don't want none of him. He don't want none of this smoke.
That was wrong. You know what Heather would say.
Yeah, what's that?
Don't be a radio op.
Yeah, okay. C's ain't picking up,
The
y'all.
person you are trying to reach said, "Hell no."
Man, that's a lot of rings too. That's how you know
Sorry.
what's going.
Yeah.
Let's move on. I want to move on.
Yeah. There goes my Rock the Bells interview.
No. That's just what it is. I mean, L's been speaking a lot to the past.
Yeah.
He talked about.
You saw
him
the Rakim thing? You saw the Rakim bit with him and he was talking about. They asked. I forget it was
Big Boy.
No, it was 106 DJ.
Philly Fell.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
DJ Philly Fell.
Okay.
And he asked. He was like, "Yo, the first time you heard Rakim, did you feel like he was on another level?" And L like laughed, like hell no. He's like, "Yo, I thought I was the man. I thought it was great. I bumped his shit. I was, I respected PE. I respected Kane, but like I was L, and I'm like, I had to give it up. Like I'm not mad at that."
LL people seem to forget was
L
that guy.
Was that dude.
Yes, like it was that guy.
Was
it
that
was that
dude.
guy.
To me,
like
LL was the first rap superstar.
Yes.
Like he was the first rap superstar.
And he wasn't giving it up. And he was young.
He didn't have to.
Yes,
He didn't have to.
Yeah, because he started young. Big did something that I really like with Notorious Thugs.
Oh man,
on this project.
That's why we had to put a whole episode to that.
Yeah, where he reached out to the Midwest, Bone Thugs and Harmony, and collaborated with those guys.
Through Fat Joe, actually.
That happened through Fat Joe because they were signed to the same record label, Relativity
Yeah.
Records. Speak to that. Like, how important was that collaboration at that time?
Huge. I mean, again, I don't want to spoil the episode, but I mean, this is massive. You got to realize, again, people forget, right? This is like 20 something years ago, almost 30 years ago. 94, 95, like Bone Thugs and Harmony are rock stars.
Right.
They are doing stadiums.
Yeah.
They're actually way bigger than Biggie.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They're doing 5 times, 6 times platinum.
Absolutely.
Midwest. They're bringing the West Coast and East Coast flavor together. They are complete rock stars.
Yes.
Doing songs with Pac. So, and it's interesting because there's actually different accounts. And journalistically, it's our job, right, to get to the truth. And with this, I wasn't really fixated on getting the absolute truth. I wanted everybody to get their account because that's what the beauty of telephone. That's the beauty of how stories are passed down through generations. Everybody has their account. Now, a lot of stories you can tell line up. Nasheem didn't speak to Klep, but when he told Who Shot the story, he told his story. Klep told his story, and then you see which pieces fit together.
Okay.
like Clip was like, yeah, only people in the studio was Puff, Big, LL, and the engineer. The engineer, it was actually Nasheem, who was who was producing and engineering for Bad Boy, right? So Big says that because I was like, I know that I always heard that there was some discrepancy with trying to get the record done because Bone Thugs were supposedly allies of Pac.
Yes.
Right. And they were leaning towards LA. They lived in LA, even though they're Midwest. But Fat Joe was the one who had to go get them and convince them, yada yada yada. Now, Lazy Bones in the interview, he says that there was never an issue. We were always neutral. Steve LaBelle's the manager of Bone Thugs says that never happened. Fat Joe says otherwise. So, I don't know. It depends on who you want to believe or, who forgot, whatever. But, I remember what the rumors were that they were hesitant to do it because of Pac. And that makes perfect sense.
It would make sense for that time.
Because you know how Pac was?
Yeah.
You step on... Pac don't play that neutral shit.
Yeah,
like if
Pac would have rolled you if he thought you betrayed him.
It would have been hit him up too against Cleveland. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can believe it. They said it didn't happen. Fat Joe says otherwise. Either way, it's a great episode.
But when they got in the studio together...
Amazing. So they got in the studio... And the studio session is actually iconic because they, Bone Thugs, they rolled like one artist, one of the Bone Thugs would show up with like 10 of his dudes. Another one would show up 20 of his dudes. So it's like 50 people in the studio with Big and C's and D-Rock and all of them. Puff came through with like a case of Hennessy. They brought all the weed. I mean, it's just a party basically.
Yeah.
And I'm talking like Lazy passed out. They had to shake him, wake him up, throw cold water on him to get him to his verse. Woke up from passing out for drinking Hennessy, did his verse in one take. Now, we hear that song.
Yeah.
Imagine
doing that
in one take, drunk and high. But Big never laid his verse that day.
He didn't?
No.
You got to come back and tell us why that happened. All right. Bonsu-Thompson, Sway the Morning. Let's go. Come on.